Fritz Lang, 1931, Hall of the Mountain King, or rather a huge, long, almost 2-hour commercial for Hall of the Mountain and the Hall of the Mountain King. Grieg's masterpiece. Basically, is about a guy who goes around murdering children, and yeah, and the whole town goes crazy, and everybody's just freaking out because this guy is just snatching up their children. Hijo, whatever the guy, the snatcher guy with the do-rag on sings. And yeah, it's just basically, it's really just about this serial killer who goes around killing children. How about that? And it's, the whole town goes crazy, and the police are just going, all paranoia and all that, and it's amazing how, everybody just, pretty much everybody's paranoid, and everybody thinks that they're the killer, and until finally they find him because of that whistle. That whistle reveals him, and it basically, he's finally trapped with a kangaroo court in like the basement of this, I think, parking garage or structure or something like that. And he freaks out, and it's like you don't hear Peter Lorre, who plays Hans Beckert. He doesn't say too much until that scene where finally it's just an explosion of emotions. It's just a total explosion of emotions on his part, and it's, it just goes to show you that, I think this was his first role, kind of a serious role. Before he'd just been doing mostly, comedic roles. So there you go. And he proved himself. And the trip is that, and the thing is that at the end, he's committed. He's committed. The kangaroo court wants to kill him for doing all this stuff to their children. But in the end, the police find them and have to arrest him because that's the law. And mothers are crying, saying this won't bring back their children. You gotta watch your children. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, Lang really, I think what Lang does here, it's really about it's about the shots, and it's about the way he was working with. It was a lot. Some of it is the way he was working with sound, because this was one of the first movies. This was in the beginning, near the beginning of sound. So a lot of the shots have that silent film feel where they just overdub sound over it. But there is, of course, most of the dialogue is more or less straightforward and just filmed with the film. And yeah, I mean, for Lang, it's really about shots. It's about setting up the right shot and knowing what to focus on, and that's all I can say about it. And that's really all I can say about this movie. This was another pretty short one, I hope. As far as the rating goes, I'd like to give this more than a B, but I have to say I have got to give this like a C plus. I know everybody and their mama gonna agree with me. Ain't gonna agree with me. But honestly, I feel like there were a lot of scenes that could have been cut. There were a lot of repetitive scenes. I feel like there were scenes that didn't make any sense, like the prostitute scene, and just a lot of scenes that didn't involve Hans. I feel like we could have gotten a little more of him. A little more of him, like, interacting with the other characters, and like, so that they all kind of interact with him at one point, and when it's all realized, then they could have all turned around and had this, well-fueled rage toward him. I mean, already more so because of the, what he did to their children, but still, So yeah, and the German. I mean, I'm nothing against German, but when you do a 2-hour, sometimes 2-hour movies in German, I mean, some of it I think is just the Criterion edition. They do the subtitles way too fast, and it's really tricky to read sometimes, especially when there's text. when they translate text, and yeah. So I really wish that this. Apparently, the Blu-ray edition of this version that just came out a couple of months ago has the English version, which was lost until just recently. So, but Blu-ray from the library? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that's it. Yeah, C plus. It's just a little confusing, a little overblown at times, but in the end, a good story and a good vehicle for Peter Lorre. So yeah, there you go. Supplements. Let's talk supplements. Conversation with Fritz Lang, a 50-minute film. Thank God this was in English, because I just put that quarter speed, 1.4 quarter speed or whatever it is. I just zoomed on through that. He's an interesting guy. I mean, he stands by his films, but at the same time, he seems like he would have been a difficult director to have worked with. He's one of those guys that wasn't a very warm person. Maybe it was because he was near the end of his life. I don't know. Yeah, and then let's see, Claude Chabrol's Le Maudit, a short film inspired by Maud by M, plus an interview with Chabrol by Pierre-Henri Guibert about Lang's filmmaking techniques. Basically, it's a 10-minute version of M, which is kind of cool. Of course, because of how trippy M is, there's a lot of scenes that he focused on. This guy, Chabrol, focused on the key scenes, thereby making it feel a little rushed, and obviously cutting out a number of important plot points, but still kind of cool, very cool to see like a quick summary, after watching the whole 2-hour thing. And Chabrol is a really interesting guy. I mean, as far as talking about, it's weird that he keeps talking about how he fails to, set up his he kept failing to like setting up the shots for to try and recreate Lang's original shots and all that, and he's talking about it didn't work as well. But it's like, well, that's because sometimes it's hard to do stuff like that. But still it's kind of cool. But anyway, what else? Classroom tapes of M. This was boring. Oh god. Classroom tapes of M editor Paul Falkenberg discussing the film and its history. Basically, it was some film. It was some back in 1970, the 70s. Paul Falkenberg showed this film to some film studies class and narrated all over it and rewound the tape and all that and around the video and stopped it at certain points, and the class asked questions, and it was just like it was as boring as watching this class. I mean, if I were watching this film in class, I'd just be like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I would so not be paying attention. But here in the home, where I can schedule this stuff, it's fine. So yeah, pretty lame. Interview with Harold Nebenzal, the son of M producer Seymour Nebenzal. Pretty interesting, very, very interesting stuff. It's always interesting to interview the children of these, the producers or directors who, were still alive, in the 2000s, and were available for interviews, and I'm glad that the Criterion at least did that, because it's always kind of interesting to get another point of view from someone related but not totally related to the film. Yeah. And then finally, there's a 25-minute documentary called The Physical History of M, which is basically all about how the different transfers, there's like a billion different transfers. Apparently this is the remastered version that came out in 2004. The original pressing was like in 98, actually 2005. It says second pressing 2005. Second pressing 2005. Anyway, and then and it's just like I said, white people talking about films. So C plus. Watch it once, maybe watch it twice. It wasn't bad. I'm gonna watch this again sometime in my future. Maybe the next 10 years I'll watch it. Or maybe 10 years from now I'll watch it again. But but right now I'm just taking it. I'm taking it from my first point of view, and it's no high and low. As long as I say it's no high and low. So Oh, there goes my lamp. Oh well. Anyway, so basically, what's next? That's we're at number 30. Next is number 31. Great Expectations. Then we got number 32, Oliver Twist. Then number 33, Nanook of the North. And then from there on, it goes on. So hopefully we'll get the next one done probably Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Oh no, probably Thursday or Saturday, not Friday. Yeah, so check back Thursday or Saturday. And until then, thanks for watching. Go do the M and learn the Hall of the Mountain King. Anyway, until next time with the Great Expectations. Goodbye.